Hello and welcome to my little corner of the internet. Ever since I started to do vintage style, my biggest issue was the hair. Because I feel like the hair is what really makes the outfit look vintage and give you that vibe of the good old days. And I watched these videos where people were pinning up their hair and they look really fabulous, and that did not work with my hair. My hair is really straight, really slippery, and even heat curls didn't do the job. But then I discovered the foam rollers and I thought, oh, that might do the trick. So the first thing I did was actually cutting my hair, because I had hair down to my waist and it could be really hard to curl that hair and make it stay. And then I went to the internet looking for foam rollers. Now, I live in a country where stuff is really hard to find if you have a special hobby that is not a sport. So I didn't find any foam rollers at the time when I started to look, at least not here in Norway. But I thought to myself, is the fact that you don't have foam rollers really gonna stop you from curling your hair? Now, this happened back in March 2020 when Corona just arrived and everyone was in lockdown and no one were able to go out and stuff like that. So I thought, what could I use to curl my hair that I already got in my house? In February, March 2020, what did everyone got in their house? I'm embarrassed to say I used toilet paper. And it turns out it worked quite well. Now I did this only to try it and thought I will just be a one-time thing, and if it didn't work out I could just throw it away. But it turns out I was able to use them several times. And now, almost 1 year later, used only 2 sets of toilet paper hair rollers. My toilet paper hair rollers look like tampons, and they do degrade, of course, in leaving small toilet paper particles in my hair. But I was almost thinking about making a commercial out of it. Toilet paper hair rollers. Easy, biodegradable, vegan, never tested on any animals, and no plastic. But they are quite annoying. And then I was sitting in my home wondering what could I do with all my leftover fabric. And I thought, didn't I have a problem with curling my hair? Maybe I can use my leftover fabric for that. Out of this I got a few ideas. One of the ways to curl your hair in a vintage way is that you can use this piece of fabric and then curl your hair around it and then make a knot on your head. So the only thing I had to do then was cut it out in different pieces that I would like and then overlock around the edges, and it will be a really easy project. But I also got those toilet paper hair rollers of mine. Would it be possible to cover them with fabric? I believe that's what I'm gonna try today. And I also thought, if I didn't already have the toilet paper rolls, then maybe I could just make the same shape and then put even smaller pieces of leftover fabric inside them. Okay, I will just go to my sewing machine and try to cover my toilet paper rollers with my leftover fabric. So I just went to visit my leftover fabric stack. It seems like I have this disease where you buy 1.5 meters too much every time. So we have some leftover curtain here from a Betty dress that I made. And then I just roll that tampoon in there and probably just pin it in place with some seam allowance. Okay, this was maybe a bit much seam allowance, but then I can just take this out and sew along the line. After sewing it, I controlled that the paper actually fit into the fabric that I had sewn. Then I continued to cut off the extra seam allowance so it wouldn't take up space. It was a bit hard to turn it inside out, so I used a pencil to push it through the fabric. When I finally got it inside out, I continued to put the paper inside a little fabric pocket that I made. This turned out to be a bit tricky, but it helped using the pencil at this part also. It turns out that the smaller ones, like the one you see I'm working on here, was a bit more tricky to work with than some of the bigger ones I made. And when the paper was inside it, after all the struggle of getting the paper inside the fabric, I went on and hand stitched the open edge. Now that I have made the hair rollers, I thought it could be an idea to actually test them out before I post this. Now I will try to curl my hair. And if you want to learn how to do this, you should probably go to another channel where there is someone who actually knows what they are doing instead of watching me. I just wash my hair and I do have a glass of water by the side. I'm only using water to do my hair, but you should probably have a setting lotion or something to actually make the curls stay. So I start off by getting some water into the hair that is dry. Take out one of my homemade rollers, section out the part that I want, and then just curl it around like this. And I start a little bit back because I cut my bangs myself and I don't know how people are handling bangs. I have a glass of pins and just pin it in place. If you want to learn how to do it, just go to someone else who actually know what they're doing, because I don't. Like that. Okay, now we got one roll. At one point I was afraid of running out of rollers, but then I remember I only have hair on 1/4 of my head and I use twice as much hair rollers on that part as I do on the rest of my head. This is why I want YouTube to have more videos on how girls with thin hair can do vintage hairstyles. Please tell me if you know a channel that has this. Good morning, it's the next day. I have put on a turban and under here is all my hair curlers. We'll just use the film tricks to take them out. Okay, it did get just like my normal curls, so now we'll do a film tricks for the brush out as well. Okay, it seems like it just worked the way I wanted it to. I can't say anything about how long they will last, but it seems like they lasted good this time. I also made some with fabric inside and they work just as fine as the paper ones. For me this was a really fun project and hopefully my hair rollers will last a bit longer than it did without fabric on. And that was it for today. I Hope you have a lovely day and enjoying yourself, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. So goodbye for now. I just watched my hair. I will try to curl my hair. Here.
I don't do that. I just do some random selection of my hair, random section of my hair, and just hope it turned out okay. Random sections. Yeah, you select random sections. Yes, that was what I was trying to say, but you know, can't even talk English.
And that's what